So the three most common questions that people ask when you say you have twins, there's always three things that people ask. The first thing everybody says is, are they identical? Are they identical? Oh, are they identical? And I used to say just yes when you were babies, because it was just easier. I couldn't be bothered. People wanted you to be identical, so I just thought, oh well, just tell them what they want to hear. So when people get over their disappointment that you weren't identical, the next question would be, are they really alike? Because of course that's the most important thing as well. Oh dear, you weren't identical, they weren't identical, but actually you must be really alike. And so generally I would always say, well, no, actually they're really, really different. And then the next question after that was, do they get on well? So three questions, virtually everybody would ask that, except if they were a parent of a twin or if they were a twin, then they would never ask that. But yeah, I suppose people were always looking for those similarities, and they just were fascinated to know, could you tell them apart? Do they get on well? Because it was just a uniqueness that they didn't quite understand. So I can tell a little story about when you were very first born. And so we had two names, and we were just sort of lying there a little bit bewildered. And the anaesthetist came over and said, oh, what have you got some names for these two? And I said, oh, yeah, so one's going to be Anya and one's going to be Jamila. And he looked at you both, and you were both sort of lying together in a little cot. And he looked at you both and he just went, well, that one's Jamila. And he pointed to Jamila. And then that one's Anya. And then he just walked off. And that was that, really. And probably the names were right somehow. Couldn't ever have been the other way round. So I always think it was just amazing that you were your names the moment you came out. So when you went to school, the teachers didn't quite know what to do with you. Should you be in the same class? Should you be in different classes? And we were always really keen that you would be in different classes, because we just saw you as different people that needed to have their own personality. And some people really didn't understand that. They just thought, well, they need to be together. So other people's views often had quite an impact. One of the most tricky things has always been when somebody's done something really well, or if somebody's not done something well. And so you would come running out of school, and one of you would, like have a big smile and a load of stickers on their jumper, like really proud that you'd got some kind of award. And then the other one would be shuffling along, head down, because he didn't have the stickers. And that just carried on through the whole of school. And so we always had to just play it down. So if anybody did anything well, either of you did anything well, we always just had to play it down, just be like, oh yeah, oh well done, that's great. Anyway, let's just carry on. And so that it didn't make the other one feel really bad. And that was a bit of a shame, really, that I never felt I could really celebrate when one of you had done really well, because it always had such an impact on the other one. Just recording some memories of when my beautiful girls were younger, and also what makes them different. So when I was thinking about this, I could come up with many differences, but just thinking about it, it all started off when they were younger, when they were first born, really. They started off very differently, and it's just kind of carried on that way. What influences how they are, and how much upbringing can make a difference to someone's behaviour and nature. But actually what I've realised, having had twins, is that they were as they are now when they were born. So Jamila came out quite noisily, really, and she had these really big eyes that would look right at you. And she cried more and certainly let you know when she needed something. And that just carried on, really. She always had something to say, and now she's someone that has quite strong views and opinions, and she likes to interact with people. She likes to find out what other people think and then challenge that with her own views. And, you know, as a small child, she never was shy. She'd just go up to complete strangers and try and get to know them, much to the embarrassment of the rest of us. And she just was really always very lively, with just lots and lots of ideas. It's like her brain was always working really, really quickly. And you could kind of see that even as a baby and as a small child. All those qualities were still there. Whereas Anya came out quite quietly and was quiet for quite a long time after she was born. She was just looking around and watching. And she had this sort of quality of patience about her, which she still has now. Tended to sleep a bit more and just generally be a bit more passive. So maybe people didn't necessarily interact with Anya as much because she kind of was happier to just watch, and she perhaps was a little bit shyer. But the other quality that she had is just an awareness of other people's needs, and good at watching and noticing. And that has meant now that she's quite a considerate person and has a great perception and understanding about other people's needs. And that's what makes her really different.